Well, hello everybody. I'm going to welcome you in, not to Lunch Break Live, because clearly it is not lunch, but it is live. And I'm coming to you guys from Mexico on New Year's Eve. So I'm going to wish you all a feliz año nuevo. And I just wanted to check in with you because I feel like I've been away from you for a really, really long time. So I had some thoughts. Now, yesterday, I posted something about how I understand how challenging it can be when we are surrounded by food that is our cultural favorite, especially. And it's because it represents love, right? I mean, think about it. This food is made with love, which means someone put love into it, and we want to take the love out of it by eating it, by consuming it. But the irony is, if we have a problem with food, we get anything but love from the food. We actually get torment, right? And it can be sad instead of happy. And so I wrote about this yesterday, and then Mary came back to me and said, I'm really sorry to hear that you're suffering, Carrie. I'm really sorry to hear this. And, you know, wouldn't you just love to drown yourself or wallow in a bathtub filled with tortillas and sour cream sometime to feel better, you know, essentially. And I realized, well, there's a couple of things I thought I should address. Number one, when I talk about the fact that I'm in Mexico with my family, it's my adopted family. I am not Mexican, not even this much, but I want to be Mexican, and my mother-in-law and my sisters-in-law and everybody knows that, so they treat me like a Mexican. So I don't come to you guys from a place of true understanding from a life perspective of what it's like to be surrounded by things like tamales and bolillo, buñuelo, and just all of these foods that are filled with carbohydrates and fats and, you know, pan dulce, so a lot of sugar and all this stuff. I don't come to you from a place of personally understanding from a life experience what that feels like to have that draw, okay, that cultural draw. I am a gringa, okay, a güera, and I come from a place where we had traditional foods. Yes. You know, at Thanksgiving or at Christmas, and, you know, we had the stuffing and the mashed potatoes and the gravy and the things of that nature, right? And I had foods like chocolate and cookies and, pizza, spaghetti, hamburgers. So in other words, I was always surrounded by food, but I didn't have the same cultural food, what is the word I'm looking for? Kind of connections. I didn't have the same connections of love with food. Now, my husband, Juan, we're here with his parents. His parents came up from Zacatecas, and we are all in Ensenada together, and then they're going to come home with us for a little while. Every time this family, I got to change hands, every time this family is on the phone or gets together, they talk about food. I'm talking, yesterday we went out to visit our land, which is, you know, in like a big valley area, and it is surrounded by it's high desert, so it's surrounded by high, you know, pretty tall mountains. And as you drive through to get there, you pass lots of areas where it's just covered with these massive boulders, these massive rocks, perfect for what? Climbing. And my mother-in-law is a goat, okay? I mean that in the most loving possible way. But she's a chiva, okay? She's almost 70 years old. And she looks at the mountains, and what does she say? The first thing she says is, oh my gosh, look how beautiful those are. I wish I could get out and climb them right now. The only reason we didn't was because it was pouring rain, okay? Otherwise, I'm sure we would have pulled the car over so she could have climbed at that moment. The other thing she said was, I would give anything to just come out here, climb the mountains, and make tortillas and tamales, right? Immediately, her connection of fun and enjoyment is food. I want to come out here so I can what? Make food. Oh my gosh, how do you break that connection if that's how you're raised and if you're surrounded by that and you know that that's what's going to happen? I've got an interesting connection for you. I was thinking about it. The word, I've always asked, you know, how do you say fun? Well, how do you say fun in Spanish? Well, the word is divertido, which is a form of diversión, which is a form of what in English? Diversion. People define fun as a diversion here. They want to divert from something, and in many cases, okay, it's food. right? Isn't that what we're all looking for? We're looking for a diversion from the stress of the cravings, the addiction. We want a diversion from that. If the diversion is found in food, then how do we get relief, right? So that's what I was thinking about. And so when I wrote yesterday, it wasn't that I necessarily was experiencing in this particular moment that sadness, that sorrow, or that suffering of, quote, not being able to participate with everyone else here. No, what I was reporting was what I was witnessing with my nieces and other family members who struggle with food and struggle with their weight. And my niece pulled me aside and she was like, Tia, can you help me? Can you help me? And I realized we have a problem with education, number one. She doesn't even understand nutritional basics, okay? She doesn't understand the values behind things like carbohydrates or fats, right? And I said, okay, well, first of all, you've got to learn to read labels and you've got to learn to understand numbers. And so you can go online and get some education there, okay? But we looked at a bag of Doritos and she was reading the numbers to me. I'm like, how many carbohydrates? She's like 16 grams. And I'm thinking to myself, gosh, that's really low. And then I went, how many servings are in that bag? She's like, servings? What do you mean? I said, porciones. ¿Cuántos porciones hay? Like over 2. So I'm like, okay, dos veces. You've got to double those numbers, right? Before you even approach what it is you're actually consuming. So there is a tremendous lack of knowledge here and education, which is very frustrating, right? What do you do? And then I asked her, what do you eat every day? Well, I eat sopa, fideo, tortillas, bolillo. I said, do you eat pan dulce? No, I don't really eat sweets like that. And I don't eat chocolate. I don't really need that. But tortillas, ¿cuántos tortillas comes? How many tortillas do you eat? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 every meal. Y bolillo, ¿cuántos? How many do you eat? Like 1, maybe 2. Bolillo, by the way, is like big French bread rolls, okay? For French sandwiches. Or not for French sandwiches, for sandwiches. What do you put in them? Queso, aguacate. So you put cheese, you put avocado in them. Oh my gosh, you load it up, right? And then what else do you have? Arroz, you have rice. The best thing around here is the frijoles, okay? But not the way they make them, okay? They pour, a bunch of aceite, a bunch of oil, fat, grease in the pan like this deep, and they drown them and they mash them. And you see, so it can be very challenging and very frustrating to be the only one who's eating differently, right? What's your problem? Why are you rejecting my love? Why won't you accept what I'm giving to you? Why isn't what I'm cooking good enough for you to eat? That is the underlying message. Even though it's not intended to be hurtful, it's intended to be inclusive. Like, come on, join the diversion. Join the fun with us. Take my love. Do you see what I'm saying? So this is very challenging. And it can be, and I'm looking outside because I know the family's going to come back. I chose like a purposely quiet moment when my husband and my sister-in-law, my mother-in-law are out shopping, buying masa, 40 kilos, by the way, of masa to make tamales, because that's what we're going to do today, to make tamales. Muy buenos días. Estoy grabando en mi teléfono, pero no problema. I just told my father-in-law that I am recording on my telephone, and that's why I'm sitting at the table talking all by myself. So anyway, the thing is that I understand the challenges. I understand the suffering. And I get it. That's really the point here. I get it. I witness it. I feel the sadness for everyone. And I remember my own sadness of looking for a diversion, looking for fun, right? Food. No, that's not where the fun is. And so Mary said, okay, don't you want to just wallow in that sometimes? No, I can honestly tell you, my conviction, does it make it easy to choose my recovery? Yes, I'm going to say yes, easier, not easy, because I realize there is no happiness, there is no joy, and there is no peace to be found in consuming those foods. My wish for my family here, for that my nieces and my sisters-in-law and the people that suffer and struggle here, for example, in Mexico, where the culture is one of eating and not one of eating healthy, because people here are not aware of the choices that are available, aren't aware of how to choose differently or do differently, and are experiencing cultural pressures. My message to you guys is I see it, I am so sad for you because I know that feeling. Am I ever sad? Yeah, there are occasions, like for example, before we came down here, we went out for pizza. Well, not me, right? I had a wonderful salad, right? With like an antipasto, so I had a little bit of meat on it and cheese and whatever. That was my big thing. I looked at the pizza, I remembered. We had memories around that pizza, and I had to divorce the memories from the feelings with that food. I had to say, look, I have memories, but those feelings with the food, those are false feelings. Those are not real feelings, because I was never happy when I overdid it on the pizza, ever once. I can be happy around others who might be enjoying the pizza, but my happiness is not derived from consuming that pizza. Same thing here. That's how I'm trying to convey it, and it's really hard if Spanish, is not your first language. It's really hard to convey that, look, there is no happiness in the tamales, but there is happiness in being with the family as we make tamales, right? And if you want to have one, have one. Don't have one and then one more and then one more and then one more every day, right? Have a serving, put it on your plate. Resist the urge for when they continually bring more food to the table and they're saying, just have a little more, just have a little more. Say, no thanks, I'm good with this. I have what I need right here, right? Because I got to be honest, they're always bringing tortillas to the table, right? Because why? They're always keeping them hot. They got to make more over at the stove and they got to bring them to the table. More tortillas as everybody eats, right? So they're always bringing more. Más video, más sopa, más. Okay, they bring you another plate of food because that's what they do. Our job, if we want to be sober, if we want to choose recovery, is to say, I'm good with what I have. I'm happy sitting here being with all of you. I don't need to eat as much as you're eating in order to feel your love. Just being with you guys, I can feel your love. My diversion is not fun. My diversion is in not looking at the food to be the source of fun, and not thinking that because I'm not consuming the food, I'm not having fun. See, I think a lot of people look at it and go, this isn't fun. You know what? Having to be on a, quote, diet, this just isn't fun. Well, food isn't about fun, guys, okay? If you have a problem with it, if you're addicted to it, and you're looking for an alternative to fun, you're likely to run into something else to replace that food with another source of very unhealthy fun, like shopping or drinking. And that's another thing, man. Here it is. What? New Year's Eve, lots of tequila flowing around here, right? And when people walk through the door, here, have a glass, have a lemon, have some salt. Come on, just a little more, just a little. I was watching it last night. Some of these people are the devil, diablo. Oh, just a little more. Have some more pan. Have some more. Más y más. No. Con más es menos. With more is less. I promise you, you're not going to feel better. So anyway, the bottom line is, as I sit here rambling, I've missed you guys, but I just wanted to convey to you somehow on this New Year's Eve, on the precipice of this time when many of us want to overdo the alcohol, overdo the food, because that's what everyone else does. In our endeavor to be a part of the celebration, in our desire to feel the love and to have fun, it is not to be found in the food or the drink if we have a problem with it. People who don't have a problem with it, well, maybe they do have fun with that. I don't have fun with that. And that's what keeps me sober. That decision, I look at it and go, it really isn't a decision, because I know that if I choose that thing, I'm not going to find happiness. Okay? So that's my wish for you guys today, is that you will open your eyes and say, happiness is not to be found in that glass of tequila or in that margarita or the pina colada or whatever it is you're drinking, the whiskey, the moonshine, whatever. Happiness is not to be found there. Champagne. Happiness is not to be found in the tamales. Love, yes, they're made with love. They're served with love. But don't confuse the love of needing to consume the food in order to absorb or consume the love, okay? The love comes to you in many, many ways. So put the tamal down and take the hug. instead, okay? So that's about it, kind of rambling. I do wish you guys, all of us, the very best of recovery in this new year, that we would all have the peace that we so desperately seek in the food but never ever find. I wish that for all of us. I want you to know I am not sad. I am not suffering. I do have moments of conflict where I remember and associate the memories with the food, and those are the moments where I sit there and I break those two things apart and say I have the memories, but the food does not represent those memories for me anymore. And I have a great deal of peace, and that is my wish for you. So I'm going to sign off. I'm going to let you guys go, but be well. I look forward to seeing you on my return. Let's see, I guess it would be Tuesday the 3rd. I think it'll be the 3rd when I get to talk to you next. Be well, everyone. Choose well. Be healthy. And yesterday was my 3rd year birthday, my sobriety birthday. 3 years yesterday, December 30th. And you know what Juan said to me? He said, I'm really proud of you, babe. Congratulations. That's a lot of hard work. Good for you. Congratulations. I'm so happy for you, babe. So, you know what? That was priceless. That was love. All right, guys, you take care of yourselves. Love you all lots. See you soon. Be well. Mwah. Bye. Oh, hasta luego from Mexico. Bye.